I'm Diana Potter, Mama Potter, according to the video, and I just really wanted to share this video on fine motor skills because it's the beginning of the school year and I know some kiddos are probably struggling. And so I made my list here and I'll just go over it. First, I want to talk about seating. This is a move and sit cushion. It has a smoother side and a rough side, and they can sit on that. There are many different kinds. You can look online, and it gives you a chance to move around a little bit while sitting. You can also try other flexible sitting options. There's balls, there's T-stools, things like that. You want the kids' feet on the floor. You want their hips at 90 degrees and knees at 90 degrees and arms in a good position to reach the table. So, first, I want to show some fun activities because oftentimes kids don't want to do handwriting and boring paperwork, but they will do some of these fun activities. I love Silly Putty. It is very similar to the consistency of therapy putty, if anybody's gone to therapy for various things. It is a supervised activity both in the classroom and at home because it sticks to so many different things, but it is a great thing to do with the kids one-on-one. I usually hide an item inside, just like I did there here, and I ask them to find it. First activity. Then I commonly have them work with it, twist it. I tell them my Silly Putty rules, which are: no stringing the Silly Putty, not allowed because it gets everywhere. No throwing the Silly Putty, and no putting the Silly Putty on your face, your eyes, your ears, your clothing, just on your hands and on the tabletop. The first activity I want them to do is roll out the Silly Putty, preferably with both hands. You can see their hand strength from here. You can see how their hands work together. Then I ask them to roll it up from one end into a snail, doot, 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 and then hide the object back inside. There are millions, not millions, probably millions of activities you can do with Silly Putty, but I just wanted to show you that one. Maybe I'll do another video just about Silly Putty. Next, we're going to do activities that help grasp. This seems so easy, and it can be done with preschoolers, but you would be surprised how the older kids have fun with stuff like this. You just want to use your thumb and finger to take off the clips, put them in the cup, put them back on. To make this more challenging, put a pom-pom underneath your ring finger and pinky, and that way they can only use their pincer grasp to get the clips. To make the activity more high level, you can do things like putting a math problem on there and have a variety of clips with numbers on there. They have to clip it on to the proper answer. You can write their name and have them find the letters and put them on. Again, they're working on bilateral skills, working on their pincer grasp. Another activity, you notice I'm keeping the pom-pom this whole time. That's great if you can get the kids to do that, and then they are refining that grasp. I'm going to go quickly. Beads, you can use beads, you can use noodles. We're going to put them on the chenille stems. Again, just another good bilateral fine motor activity that is fun for the kids. And I've done it all through elementary school and lots of different ages like that activity. Another activity for a lot of ages, just simply taking stickers off of a page and making a picture on the page. Just the act of getting them off is a good fine motor skill. This particular one, making the snowman, is also a good visual motor skill, seeing if they can put the hat in the proper place, the mittens in the proper place, that type of thing. Next, I just wanted to share briefly about fidgets. Any small little activity that is quiet that a child can have in the classroom to keep their hands engaged while their mind is focusing on what the teacher's saying. Number one rule, they have to take care of it, and they cannot play with it or have it be more of a distraction. Otherwise, if that happens, then they no longer have the privilege of having that particular type of fidget. You may have to try different things, but especially if you happen to have the luxury of a one-on-one situation, this is great that they can work with something like this while you read a story, for example, or watch a video or something like that, or if the class is watching a movie. Oftentimes they can just play with something small like that to keep their fingers busy. Okay, grasp I get asked about so many times. An ideal pencil grasp, of course, is something similar to this. Now, you will see many variations of this. If you have something like this, it could be functional for a child. More fingers on there, that could be functional. This is not. That kind of grasp will not be efficient for a child. So we want to work toward this. We want to have an open web space. We want the wrist at a nice angle. But we may need to back up and see what we can do. I love broken crayons and broken chalk because the kids can't hold them in inappropriate fashions as easily. I like to take advantage of any type of writing surface. This is a piece of cardboard. You can use a cereal box on the inside. Anything to make it a little bit different and more fun for the child. You can just draw a simple shape and say, hey, color it in. We don't really care at this point what they're doing. We're working on the grasp itself. Have them make stripes, have them make a robot or a castle and decorate it using these. If you can get them to hold the pom-pom, all the better. It divides their hand so that they're really focusing on this part for the writing. We want this to be mobile and this to be stable. Of course, there are pencil grips. My favorite, it has always been the Grotto grip, which you can get on Amazon, Grotto. There is this one with the star. I believe it's called Right Start, which puts your fingers in a nice position. You may also use a regular pencil and write on it with a Sharpie. You'll put a dot for where you want the thumb, right here. Then you skip a space, another dot where you want the index finger, and then the other third finger rests underneath. Of course, this has to be changed each time you sharpen the pencil, but it only takes a minute. When we are working on grasp, we also have to pay attention to how our hands are positioned. One thing that works well is a 2 or 3 inch binder with a clipboard glued to the front. This puts the arm at a little bit of an angle and puts the hand and fingers in a better position. You can use this for the students. Another position that works really well is a vertical surface. You can use a chalkboard, an easel, take things through to the wall, because this puts the child's hand at a better position as well. When they're starting out, they may use more shoulder motion, and as they get older and the writing becomes more efficient, they will be able to get it down to where it's just their fingers. What we're wanting to do is get the handwriting to become automatic. Many of the students do not have those automatic handwriting movements yet. And there are many reasons why they may not. It could be just they're young. It could be that they're having a motor skill issue. They can't get their hands to work in the way that they want, or they could be having trouble recalling the alphabet, for example. If you have a student write the alphabet, some may not be able to actually make the letters. Some may not be able to remember the alphabet. So you have to kind of break it down and see where they are. I often like to have them do an upper and lowercase alphabet, just again to do an assessment to see where they are, to see if it's particular letters that are causing them trouble, or if it is remembering that's causing them trouble. This is a paper that I just made up myself on Microsoft Word. You can make your own paper. There are many types of paper out on the market. There's the raised line paper so that the students have a sensory stop when they get to the bottom of the page. And anyway, this is just a short overview of all that. Another activity that I like to do, which can be fun for the kids, use the page reinforcers. Just have the students put them anywhere on the page. A colored paper is nice because it gives the contrast. I don't even know how well you can see this, but and then in this case I do use a marker like a Flair pen, and I really like the students to start at the top and trace around the path, because that is how we like to make our C's, and that is how we like to make our O's. I am not crazy about the backwards and upside down O like that. Oftentimes I'll give the kids a visual cue of where to start and go around. Okay, next on the list, oftentimes kids have trouble keeping their letters within a space. So, lined paper, while it does provide structure, it may be too open-ended for some students. We may want to give them a sticker with boundaries, or even a name, a label, and then say write your name within that place. It at least is giving them a clear visual boundary. And I've often found that that is helpful for some students, especially when they're starting out. Let's see. The last thing I was just going to talk about is try a variety of papers. Graph paper is great just to play with. You can have them make or color in various geometric shapes. You can have them try to write their name within each square. You may use different sizes of graph paper. It's just another way to give structure, help with the spacing, and to me it just makes it a little bit more fun than just a workbook or a worksheet that the kids are having to get through. I think that is all I was going to talk about today. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me and let me know if there's anything more specific. If you don't know my background, I have been an occupational therapist for 30 years, and so these are just some of the tidbits that I've used with kids over the year that makes fine motor skills and working on fine motor skills more fun. That's all for today. Thank you.